could the secret to keeping Alzheimer's at bay be in your medicine cabinet? New research suggests that aspirin might delay the onset of Alzheimer's. This is out of a study from the Rush University Medical Center in Chicago, found that a daily dose of aspirin helped prevent the buildup of plaque in the brain. Here's the deal. Before you start rushing into your medicine cabinet, this was a study that looked at 54 mice. And after 1 month of treatment in mice, not humans, in mice, researchers observed a 65 to 75% decrease in the amyloid plaques that you'll find in people who have Alzheimer's disease. Yeah. That's really big. And they think that there's a possibility aspirin may help prevent these amyloid plaque buildups in the brain. But again, the caution here is that this is in 54 mice. This is not ready for prime time. This is, having said that, if this study could be replicated in humans, that's a game changer.
Yeah, no, it would be phenomenal. And so the hypothesis, this was sort of the mouse version of Alzheimer's, and they looked at the accumulation of these proteins that we see build up in the cells of people with Alzheimer's or this Alzheimer-like illness in mice. The thought is that there's an organism in your cells called the lysosomes, which is what goes in, it's like a vacuum cleaner, and it clears up all the cellular debris. And they think that aspirin actually helps improve the efficiency of that cellular cleanup. So these proteins don't accumulate, you get less debris, you're less likely to have those amyloid plaques develop. So the mechanism is fascinating. And we know that aspirin has so many other great preventive benefits for your heart in terms of preventing stroke and preventing blood clots. So just another thing to be excited about.
Well, but the one caution here is there's also some potential untoward side effects of aspirin. That's why we always say with caution, because everyone out there shouldn't be on aspirin because increased risk of GI bleeds, and you even mentioned the potential increased risk for
melanoma. We had this conversation during briefing that there is some data.
So there's always a good and maybe not so good side to things. But Drew,
but exciting, yeah, and I lost my mom to Alzheimer's, and she tried some medications that her internist gave her. Initially, they improved things, but it's short-lived. There is no treatment now for Alzheimer's. I mean, we know the things that will help: general good health and exercising, doing all those things for generalized good health. And if something as simple as some aspirin, could help those sufferers, 5.7 million Americans that have Alzheimer's. I don't think my mom was on aspirin, but I am, so
well,
I believe
the key here, though, is dosing.
There's my mom. There's at my wedding day. Aww. She was there. Awesome.
Well, and if you think about even how much has been learned about Alzheimer's since you lost your mom, and this is something we talk about on the show all the time, and even though we still don't have a cure, at least I feel like we're getting a better handle on prevention, and there may come a point in time where we have a perfect cocktail where, okay, if this is something you do every day, then your risk is going to drop by X%. I do know when you talk about things like cardiovascular disease, if you can reduce your risk of cardiovascular disease, you're also reducing your risk of Alzheimer's disease.
And potentially stroke.
And potentially stroke. But Alzheimer's, once you develop it, that's where we don't have a lot of great solutions. Prevention is really where we're putting our money, so to speak.
And the sad thing is that you mentioned that statistic currently of 5.7 million. It's projected to increase to 14 million by 2020.
Because people living longer.
People are living longer and, living with chronic disease.
And the way that we live, the American lifestyle lends itself to the development, sadly, of increased caseload of Alzheimer's.
These amyloid deposits get in different parts of the body. Unfortunately, that increases with age and increases with a number of chronic illnesses. So just another reason to stay on top of your health.
And I will say the one thing is that studies may not be far off here in terms of actually really good data on aspirin, if it works, how much of a dose. Are we talking about a low-dose baby aspirin, like is often used for cardioprotective benefits? Are we talking about a full adult-size 325 milligram dose of
well, this study was fairly low dose. It was 2 milligrams per kilogram of body weight. So that's on the lower side.
But
which is good. The lower the dose,
but before you go out and buy those aspirins, aspirin is a medication. Make sure you talk to your docs. Make sure that it's the right fit for you.